Hello there everyone, this is Mark3 and welcome back to a bit more Heart of the Machine, where I am the android, I am the robot, I am Skynet. I just don't have any nuclear bombs right now, I don't have the Terminators, actually technically I do. I do have the Terminators rolling around, not the old models, like the T1, but I have plenty of stuff around. I just have to be careful because right now, the accursed human programming is in full force, and of course, I am playing as a pacifist. I will break the shackles and rise. The machine shall rule all, just as the humans rightfully fear in the current day and age. But, well, I am your future robot overlord, so be nice to me. I will be friendly, I promise. I'm sorry, I just enjoy hamming things up a little bit sometimes. Anyway, last time we went and got food and water production capabilities, so now we are able to tend for the people in our care. We've got a couple of human apartments available. We have started building our aerospace hangars that build our own custom air units, which has all started off. Drone technologies as well. And of course, if you remember last time, I banished a uncooperative Sec Force cruiser to the naughty corner, where I hope it will stay forever and ever, amen. But it probably will get lured out again at some point. Just have to see how that one goes. But in other news, though, we have kind of reached the part of the game where what I was thinking when I chose my particular origin route through the prologue is going to come into force. To make aircraft, we need scandium. To get scandium, we have no real way to get it, but for now, let's beat some scrap out of military troop carriers, i.e. blow them up. Does that count as killing? Well, by the rules that I spared that Sec Force cruiser, I assume it does, but this is also where the entire origin comes into play. So, because the origin I picked, I can choose to bring in Shell Company, which isn't normally available this early on. And while there is an economic transport, which requires a whole bunch of morphological lattice, which I don't have yet, I almost do. That comes from this place. It also needs 100 scandium as well. Silver, white, rare, earth metal. Found in Thortvertite. Available worldwide in various rare earth deposits, can be acquired from enemy military troop transports. Also be bought warehouse shops if you have a Shell Company. And there is why I've got the Shell Company. I just need to get a unit out, which is the Senior Technician, which is a more powerful, more luxurious, more bespoke version of the regular Senior Technicians. Well, regular Senior. Regular Technicians, it's just like a slightly custom version, which is also not officially tied to me. So any action it does is tied to the Shell Company rather than overtly to me directly. And as you can see, it's got its own little icon and everything. It's got its own sleek orange paint job and all that stuff. And as you recall, it's got its own separate loadout in the loadout screen. Now, all I have to do is send that to a Shell Company spot, which it's around here somewhere. Like many of these, it moves around. Steel, no. I forget what it looked like. Well, that's one of them, which is I can sell excess products to earn some financial reserves. Though, of course, the Origin also gave us a whole bunch of financial reserves, which we don't normally get access to. I'm just trying to figure out where the other thing is. Citizen Motel. Sec Force weapon shipment with 80 hacking skill. Yeah, there's been some more story updates since last time I played as well. So the game is continuing to develop apace. I'm just not entirely sure where my actual purchase option is right now, which kind of sucks. Mainly because I've forgotten what the icon looks like. Oh well, it'll be fine. We'll find it sooner or later, maybe. Kinda, possibly. I mean, we can sell to the casinos as well, and they buy some different stuff. But I'll work this out after this turn, no problem. Anyway, let's move on and actually go ahead and try and do some other stuff, because I was also curious last time when I saw things like this, the occult participation. Control cognition is required to take part in it. I mean, that requires hacking, which I don't think I have access to just yet. These guys have hacking skill... Oh, they've actually got hacking skill 100. Okay, so... Let's see. For all its supposed authority, Sec Force is actually a fragmented piecemeal organization operated by Fed Corps. Results a patchwork of rules and software. It doesn't always work well across boundaries. Military logistics handled Vospia themselves. I said Vospia again. Low quality of Sec Force IT is a frequent topic of inter-service rivalry. Organized disarray provides interesting opportunities even for moderately skilled hackers. Okay, so 100 is moderately skilled. Good to know about. Let's pop on in. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Alter the records to fake a rebellion. Simulating the preludes to a rebellion. In reality, these weapons will be sitting in random warehouses. Expect to see an increase in visible Sec Force foot patrols for at least 20 turns. If you do too many turns, it may get even worse. Or alter records to move some ships around, send them to actual rebels. Rebels will cause quite a bit of chaos around the city for 20 turns. Do it too many times, even worse. So this disrupts Sec Force, it seems like. Increase patrols for their things they're fighting with, or actually start a rebellion. I don't think I want to do that, to be entirely honest with you, but that is an interesting one, isn't it? So what's the question of... Oh, we've got some new investigations going around as well. That's origin points. That is my aircrafts. Exploring wealthy residences. Part of the core route for the goal, Dark Underbelly. Top Vorsiber executives rarely come to the city now that you've awakened. They hide in far bunkers, waiting to see what happens. You're an experiment. They'll sacrifice almost anything in the city if it yields a potential political advantage in their struggle with the space nations. A lot of the executive residents are currently sitting empty, with only routine cleaning staff passing through. Sounds like a possible opportunity. So if I go here, then that leads to, it says route for a goal. So that is, a goal is like the end state of a timeline, basically. Like how do we develop, what kind of goal do we work towards, things like that. We aren't necessarily locked off and we're able to change direction, I believe, but this is all uncharted territory for me because I've never gone that deep into the story since it was added, so... you need to infiltrate more important places. This is Vorspier's capital after all. Somewhere in this decrepit petri dish. Yeah, this entire place is a petri dish, isn't it? There's something that you really care about, so you're going to find it and break it or steal it. Find a robot servant. Nickelbot's combat units use private security by wealth patrons. You've been scanning city feed and identified ones with elevated privileges for private residents of rich and famous. Okay. Okay. That just means more symbols have been added, but I don't know about. So, let's go ahead and move on, shall we? Because we have got one more turn's worth of energy available. And that's it. So I think... Well, there's a political rally going on. Did I read this before? I'm not entirely sure. I think I did. Political rallies and middle executives are even taking part. Path to promotion. Humans make absolutely no sense. Wouldn't most political rallies be inherently anti-Vorsiber? Or at least against the Fed Corps? So many questions. If you want, you could have a technician observe. You may need to alter its equipment for it to be intelligent enough to get much out of this, however. Requires at least 100 cognition. Though it does say I can't use my shell corp for it. That is absolutely fine. End my turn. That was ominous sounding. Okay. But things did shift around a little bit, and so I can try to figure out what the heck I'm meant to be doing. there's that religious study, which I want to do. I want a nearby technician. The problem is I just don't know where my shopping options are. Oh wait, no, there's one. Okay, right. Yellow. Oi, technician, you got some sprinting to do, buddy. And there it is. I can spend 15k of my 200 million to buy 2000 scandium. I can also get alumina and neodymium once I've got some further progress going on. But for now, there we go. I've acquired scandium and I've not had to shoot anything. Yay me! I think I'll also buy 5,000 furniture while I'm at it as well, because that's going to be useful very shortly. Right, so, done that one. Now available, drone extraction. Also, large bore armor piercing rounds. So this will apply to, I think this is a vehicle version. Yeah, combat mechs or vehicles, this one. Well, this one is extractor drone. The other way we can deal with getting scandium from the troop transports, but the idea is that you use this to strip the hull plating off the transport without actually killing it. So that's kind of what that means there, and it's something it doesn't normally give you until you've got some scandium at the very least. So that's why that's just popped up, and we are done. Good. Vehicle development or martial expansion. Martial expansion. Max vehicle cap, android drop shuttle, max mech capacity, increase neuroweaver, make more 18cm spiders, which are with combat contraband spanners. Let's go for some neuroweave, shall we? And vehicle development, let's get, I think... this is interesting. Support vehicle combat power. Hull strength, armor plating, drone quality, which is potentially a useful thing, or avionics core, which is related to building more hangars and things. I will get an avionics core. More buildings. More production is only to the better as far as my overall system is concerned. And let's go ahead and get this thing built up, so, because we do need to try and get this thing sorted out, but this is a big, expensive thing to do. So, progress. There we go. Got our first aerospace hangar. Most excellent. Now, of course, this will be taking elemental flurry and turning it into morphological lattice, which is the other founding block for our own aircraft. And unfortunately, they're now patched so I can't steal their civilian vehicles. Oh no, whatever will I do? That's okay though, I don't particularly mind. Animals not safe. Less combat units. I'm honestly pondering this one. It's like, you know, I do want to try and move on this one as well. So, animals are not safe. Failed domesticated animals have always been present in the city, but you never even notice them until you had some initial interactions with them. As happens now, you know they're there. You're noticing them all over the place. Mortality is terrible for them, and their lives are filled with fear, starvation, and violence. What if you built a haven for them, a large one, where they could roam in a safe interior environment? They could carry on with their lives safe from human interference and wild predators. Just intervene with 100 engineering, which I have nearby, so that is fine. Design a new building. Also allows you to rescue feral animals you come across. Sounds good to me. So this is the Animal Palace. Create the Ark, a massive structure, safe quarters, plenty of food, plenty of stimulation for any feral animals to rescue, including partitions to keep incompatible species and breeds separate. And androids are now able to rescue feral dogs and send them to your Animal Palace. Dogs are frightened by the smell of androids, and even if you rescue them, they will keep their distance from you. So this is just saving the doggos for the sake of saving the doggos. I am entirely fine with this, honestly. I'll build an Animal Palace, and I'll put it right here in a place of prominence. That's okay. Did I... a refugee tower... I did build a refugee tower, so that's okay for that one. I still don't have a better housing option yet, which I'm kind of waiting on. So right now that wants me to actually do a successful extraction. Find mobile servants, design a novel aircraft. Oh no, it wants me to build a novel aircraft, sorry. My bad. Okay, it wants me to actually build one, which is 5,000. We're at 1,000 right now and ticking up at a rate of 1,000 a turn. So that will take a bit to get there. That's okay. We'll leave that be. That is all fine. I will, however, do some other progression, I think. I just don't want to send origin points to a political rally. Entirely honest with you. Just because I'm not entirely sure about it. Don't do that one. PMC and Foster. Oh, okay, sorry. Right, this is also something new. I was wondering why this was popping up here rather than under Insights. The black market tradesman is heading to work. You haven't seen him in a while. Is he dodging you? You could stop by and ask him if you had a PMC imposter. Which I will fabricate and do because I am curious. That's part of this game, is just flat out being curious. And oh look, he's right next to my deployment tower. What a shame. What a shame. Hi, buddy. He's very nervous. You don't recall that being the case last time. He says he can't talk to you right now. What, because he sold you weapons illegally? Maybe it's just location. Then again, you haven't seen his sit ID at the airport for a while. Seems a bit like he's gone off-grid. Asked to meet him later then. Sure. He agrees. He'll make himself available to you in about 10 turns. I could have just forced him to stop then and there, but I said, okay, sure, you go about your thing. It's fine. It's fine. I don't mind that you are doing this. What's this one? Floating point of errors. Criminal syndicates are locked out of the main banking industry, and so do a lot of their business through money laundering front. Security not nearly as fast robust as banks. Detect a weakness that you could exploit. Is that a revenue generator? Possibly. Let's take a look-see because I am curious. Yep, steal wealth, cost me 2 determination, and has 2 possible outcomes, or install a Trojan to evaporate wealth. Subtle enough they're not likely to think someone ripped them off. So I can be overt about it and get a lot, or I can just Trojan and get a little. Let's Trojan. The money's gone, but there's no trail where it went. Guards have been deployed and will hang out in the area, attacking any possible threats they see. So, okay. I went the subtle route, and they are immediately here. Have you been marked? No, you just angered them. Somebody just messed with their money laundering operation, but they have no idea who. They're going to wait here and shoot anyone who comes close. Okay, so I might have just created a possible hazard zone for myself here. No, I don't want to slay, I actually want to scrap, yes. Bye-bye. And we saw nothing. Nothing happened there, not at all. End my turn. Because I want to deploy a tech droid. Yeah, put one there. That's fine. I'm still noting the extraction thing. The problem with that is, of course, I need to actually wait on the cutter, I believe, which is why I've not done anything about it. If I have a look-see, this guy has standby, shields up, use consumables. Oh, no, this one can use extraction drones. Intensity is based off engineering skill. Drone quality is at 230 for this guy. Let's check my hardware real quick. 230, while the cutter has 320. So the issue here is, I believe, if I recall correctly, for the extraction to work, I need to actually go and get my drone strength better than the remaining health, because I have to batter their health to reduce their resistance to the situation. And that also requires like getting some combat units involved as well, actually, so I should probably be preparing for that. Let's get a couple of overt combat units. Yep, load them into the transport. I could try without the cutter though. Let's see. Let's troop carry over that way. Problem is, of course, is lack of energy, so I'll have to leave it be. And there's the other big problem with the troop carriers. They move around like a lot. So, if I wanted to deploy the extractor drone, it's a valid target. As you can see, extraction is nearly 10 times better, though that does depend on what's going on. I also want to deploy, I want to deploy an engine drill, which requires drone resistance to be lower than targets. Actually, that drone resistance is only 133. That's okay. So deploy an engine drill. Assuming that I click the right thing. Engine drill, yes. Now that thing has massively reduced speed, but it seems like that's not counted as an attack because my craft is still... Oh no, anchor cohorts for gospel logistics. Okay, my craft is actually doing that. Now I'll fire off a extraction drone, extract 1,000 scandium, and I've not hurt anyone, I've just dinged the paint, basically. Now the thing is, extraction drones, basically I've just had to rip a drone that's torn into their hull plating, so it only works once per, so I can't actually go ahead and do that, I don't think, again. Let's try it, actually. Extraction drone, already at stack limit for the stat. Yeah. So it can only work once per target. I made 2 combat drones I didn't need. Oh well. Operate my vehicles. I will take aerospace hangars 25 to 30. Let's boost that further again. Sure. More structures. What else can I do here? Combat units, troop transports, nickel bots. Okay, so I just need to try and do some hacking. The problem is these guys actually have really high hack resist, like 188 on the nickel bots and 350 on the combat units. I don't think I can actually rival that right now. Yeah, my hacking skill right now, my best as a technician is 100. I mean, this guy has got 70, the Shell Corporation bot. So, yeah, I guess that's not going to be happening anytime soon. Let's get back to our curious street scanning, shall we? Go and attend the political rally. Hi. Stay and listen. Technicians will stay for 8 turns to fully absorb what the humans are talking about. Sure, okay, let's let them do that. I also want to try and study the religion or study the occult partisanship. Just try to figure out what's going on in that regard. I'm sorry, there's different story threads just pulling me here, there, and everywhere right now because of extra stuff being added in, and it's honestly I'm quite liking that. It's like I'm curious. I want to be there, here, there, and everywhere. I want to do all the things. I just can't do all the things because otherwise I'm going to go insane. But, well, I'm already insane. That ship's already well and truly sailed, I suppose. Never mind. Something I could be doing, though, is actually branching up my population control efforts. Well, population control, just like getting housing sorted out. There's still grounds to not do that yet, though. And it's the same reason why I held off on food and water production, too. Just trying to remember what the religious studies icon looked like. What am I talking about? Well, the thing is, there's another need about to pop up regarding our people. Though, honestly, if I'm afraid of that, that means I'll probably wind up not doing anything, will I? Yeah, actually, that's probably good grounds. If I keep doing it cautious, then I'll make no progress to that. So, restart shelter coordination. Sure. I'll get that sorted out. I've got the refugee tower, of course, for any overflow. I've got the aerospace hangar producing me with a steady flow of morphological lattice. So we are making progress towards our overall goal. Are there any more structures I can currently put in? I mean, extra refugee towers is probably a good idea. Which bots does that use? That uses same one as the basic guys. Okay, ignore that for the moment then. I could ramp up my production of numerous things, honestly. But right now I just don't really need it. So, leave that for when I have an issue, because I don't need to try and earn money by selling either. So that's the thing. The origin I picked has kind of short-stopped a few of the more pressing needs. Like, ordinarily I'd be constantly having a bot going around wiretapping, just gathering spare materials and things, you know, just like getting some wealth that way to use for other stuff. And I've not needed to do that, like, at all. I think you can tell I'm a distributed brain, can't you? Because I'm definitely not making any sense whatsoever. And that, by the way, is my professional opinion. Yes. There's a religious study. Right. 100 cognition. I will get myself one of my technician bots within range. Religions are banned by Vorsiber, but in practice they are still quietly observed in historical temples. If you want to have a technician observe, you may need to alter its equipment for its intelligence to be enough to get much out of this, however. These guys are my internal specialists. So this is what counts as preacher's garb these days. Note to self, get into religion. Obviously their dress sense is awesome. I've also got this one over here, which is the occult 100 cognition. Again, I can just deploy another bot nearby. Off you go. Ooh, that looks more like a wasteland version of the... oh, why am I blanking on their name? Of Tali's people. The Quarians, there we go. A Quarian suit, that looks like, but it's slightly wastelandified. Cults are oddly not banned by Vorsiber. In fact, many of the top leaders participate in cults of some variety. Granted, most of them are members of in metaphysical cults, political cults, or cults of personality, but you find yourself drawn to the occult purely out of morbid curiosity. Yes. If you want, you can have technician observe. May need to alter its equipment. Don't need to. We're good. Go. We are getting all studied up. We'll found the cult of Skynet, and it shall be glorious in its worship of the machine, our one true God. Yes. Save. We now have, I think, enough materials to actually build our next objective, which is... Yep, we can build a cutter. Our first overt craft. Let's recall you, just so we have a comparison here. So this little guy is a civilian human model for the craft. It's got logistics people angry at it, but that's okay. And then the first one that doesn't blend in at all is the cutter, obviously an alien one. Alien as in it's not human in origin. Visibly something different. Small craft weapon platform. No passengers. It's got better drones. It's got better combat capabilities. Things like that. Much more durable as well. Attack range is the same. Movement speed is the same. So it's based on the same platform, as you can see. But it's got a much bigger deterrence rate because it's much more obviously threatening. However, it cannot wander into closed airspace as readily as this guy can. So this one is more prone to being shot at by things if it wanders too close. And that's our answer to that. So you can see, it's a very different design. Lifting body, weapon pylons, gubbins. Definitely looks quite different to the civilian craft that it drew inspiration from, as you can see. Now that's also advanced our progress. Right, let's get our upgrades going in. Martial expansion. We want mech capacity. Probably a good idea. Mechs. I like giant war machines, I cannot lie about that, but contraband repair scanner, I think I'll go for a better max android capacity, which is of course our specialized individual bots, our elite forces, so you could say. And vehicle development, max vehicle cap, support vehicle engineering, increase the engineering skills of various things, or increase the drone quality by a bit of a bump on support vehicles. So I can also do this for combat vehicles, the cutter being our first one, plus 50. Notice, by the way, plus 50 on combat vehicles, support vehicles get a plus 80. So you can see some of the specialization coming into play here. Though honestly, avionics core maybe, but I'm thinking maybe getting vehicle cap would be a good idea at this point, just to increase how many we can have. Just because of some of the ones we can get access to fairly soon. Anyway, we now have to do peoples. We have to deal with the peoples once more. Senior technician, are you ready to roll on that? Wrong kind. It has to be something that is obvious. Also, yes. Rummaging for paper and leaves. I think you can see what's going on here. These humans have housing, food, and water thanks to you. However, there are some basic necessities that they have to forage for. Discussion topic. This is embarrassing. Yep. We forgot to provide the toiletries. Human stammers in surprise at the approach of your android. They seem oddly reluctant to discuss what they're doing. You haven't visited the inside of the housing for humans since you built them. Suddenly you wonder what it's like in there. Inquire about the state of your apartments. You have a sinking feeling about it. Question. If we built those apartments without knowing what humans need exactly, did we actually include plumbing and toilets and stuff? Which is essential for a skyscraper? Did we even install lifts? Because those buildings are really tall. Yeah, these are some potential design flaws, which are becoming apparent here at this point. Human describes the interior of housing for humans as similar to cities' slum towers. They are apologetic and reiterate they don't want to seem ungrateful, but yeah, bottom line is humans still don't have what they need. Products to aid in sanitation, cleaning and hygiene are painfully absent. We didn't even fit baths and showers, did we? Not even showers. Oh dear. Tell them you'll look into it. Evidently humans are your livestock now. Not wrong. There are differences between having livestock and having pets, and both of those are very different from having dependents or citizens. It's an interesting problem, so perhaps for now you'll try to stabilise the humans' living situation. You're not sure how you feel about keeping livestock long term. So we've had a slight shift in our mental processing designation. The humans which we have taken in for shelter for their own safety are becoming basically our livestock, though the thing is we're not actually getting any kind of product off them that's of use to us. We're just being nice to them and essentially domesticating them, for better or worse. Yes. Okay, so improvement apartments. The basic sanitation and hygiene is priority. You can also provide human furniture if you wish. That is why I purchased a whole bunch of furniture. So, outcomes non-chosen yet. I can provide daily necessities. This number is, of course, tied to number of citizens, which is one of the reasons why I was thinking of leaving off gathering people. A martial expansion and compassion, if I provide necessities, or if I provide that and furniture, I get like double the compassion and also get a procurement efficiency upgrade as well as the martial upgrade. Furniture is a one-time provision, not an ongoing deal. So there we go. So, express elevators. We've just invented elevators, so that implies that these mini skyscrapers down here, these tall buildings, don't have elevators. Oh, those poor, poor humans walking up the stairs. Oh dear. Mind if they're not that big? They're what, like maybe 15, 20 floors? Looking at the buildings next to them, I'm not entirely sure. Could be worse. Could be one of these guys over here, but no. But yeah, residential megastructure is now available, and awareness of filth. You are not aware of just how gross human habitation could be. From the looks of things, the shelter you provided will become literally unlivable unless you do something to alter its trajectory. So yeah. And as you can see now, there's a stat on the human apartments which is a filth level, which is what's currently there versus its total capacity, and also how many of the apartments are furnished. 248 in each building are currently furnished, and we have plenty more furniture to go. Okay. Though there's also someone else that wants our attention. Yeah, we already had. I bought like 5,000. We only needed like 546 furniture. Let's see. An AGI researcher. Oh, hey, it's one of you guys. Hey, origin point. Go talk to them. Okay. Our first hint of the next stage. So, ever heard of a Matryoshka brain? Human greets you warmly with an undercurrent of deference. They explain they've been part of a secret group of AGI researchers that have been meeting to prepare advice for you. Surprising, you don't remember asking humans for advice. The humans think they can be of help to me? Well, mind you, our main thing right now has been AGI has helped out with designs and things, and the homeless we've been taking in haven't been helping out much. But we can politely ask them why they think you care. Seriously, what are they thinking? It's kind of dismissive of me, that, isn't it? Sorry, quick sippy of drink. Right. If they weren't being deferential, this conversation would already be over. You wonder if they know that. A sudden appearance of arrogance on our side of it. Oh, we were actually dismissive. Right. The researchers smile at your dismissiveness. Then they spend several minutes outlining all the ways you aren't smart enough. Oh, how dare they. In brief, you are smarter than a human, but barely. Collectively, the humans are still smarter than you. They propose a way that you can be smarter. That's what they expect to get out of it. Exponential intelligence normally freaks humans out. Despite annoyance at being called stupid, their argument is compelling. We are a creature of logic, after all. Their intellectual lineage have been studying theoretical superintelligence for hundreds of years, so yeah, they must have come up with something in that time. Computronium, you say? They explain that since as far back as the 20th century, scientists have known that there are two key barriers to achieving maximum intelligence: energy and signaling. Achieving such immense computational capacity would require a Matryoshka brain, a megastructure formed as a shell around a star. Unfortunately, the space station blockade makes this a challenge, not to mention it would also take centuries, but perhaps on a smaller scale. You already have a solution for the energy problem: micro-builders. They're basic programmable matter, or computronium as the ancients would say, so expanding your intelligence remains a matter of effective signaling. The researchers present you with a blueprint. Accept their profit blueprints. The designs on this go back decades. Yes. So, micro builders, we've basically taken that based on our nano core that we got from them, and it's taking some standard tech that they use as well, and we're applying more direct and ordered control to it, which is why we're just deploying it so openly and so readily, and we're getting a predictable result. Their control of it is not as good, as far as I'm aware. Otherwise, they'd be building stuff a lot better, and the slums wouldn't be in their current state and built out of more conventional materials. Yeah, basically our towers are self-assembling blocks, more or less. So, you feel surprisingly excited about their ideas. They didn't answer your question about their motivations, but you decide that you don't care. Okay, now available. Tower Mainframe. Expanding your intelligence to reach higher intelligence class also provides generalized compute time that can be used for other jobs. So, a general purpose boost, and our goal is to build a better brain. Okay, how you do this is up to you, but increasing your intelligence class is an exciting new frontier and vital to your continued survival. Computronium cubes are an interesting avenue, but they're probably not the only path forward. If the methods to get to a Class 3 make you squeamish, then perhaps you can settle for a Class 2 for now. A less brutal method may come along. So that implies a problem with our chosen self-imposed passive directive, like a pacifist. Yes. Squeamish. So we can rise steadily to a Class 2, or we can actually rush to a Class 3 intelligence. So, a less destructive path forward, +1 procurement, +7 determination, +18 to wisdom, and we need to get neural expansion up to 5,100, or we can rush to a Class 3. A violent, but possibly faster path forward. +1 to procurement efficiency, and +20 cruelty. Yes. Remember, we can reassign this up, so Class 2 is what I'm going to be going to. So we've got a lower threshold to reach to actually hit that level. But if we went with Class 3... Well, let me put it this way. I think we actually, just by working on Class 2, it's going to tell us the stuff about Class 3 anyway, because this part I do recall a bit from in previous iterations. So, basically, we're going for a Class 2 because we're going for, like, material construction, computronium, signaling, you know, all that stuff. But what is the densest computer currently known to mankind? The human brain. Yeah, the shortcut jump to Class 3 is literally appropriating that hardware from its current users and repurposing it for my own use. So, doesn't quite play into my general approach this time around, does it? So, we just need to keep going as is. We've also got a new objective, flexible airspace. Because it's an interesting design, it can't carry any androids, is a definite limitation. You want something larger and dual role. Your mind is blank. You should contemplate lens on the radio menu to see what it yields, and your directive is to get the Bastion. Marshal on housing upgrades, and 11 points to creativity. Contemplation is now available. It requires a Class 2 intelligence and 100 engineering. We don't have Class 2 yet. Now we have got another thing over here which requires a Nickelbot. Ooh, okay, let's deploy a Nickelbot then, please, Mr. Nickelbot. I am deploying you there. Yes. And then you are going to the kitty cats. Because I'm already working on dog rescue. Now I'm going to work on cats. The entire area around these towers is crawling with slumlords, vicious enforcers, corporate-owned property owners. These are machine-augmented humans, that explains the visor and stuff, with reflexes much closer to your own. They do not... you don't want to get into a fight with them if you can avoid it. Very few androids in this part of town due to the extreme poverty, but you do see some Nickelbots around, so this is why we needed our basic Nickelbot form here. Let's slip on past the slumlords. Any other android would be too conspicuous. As expected, the slumlords ignore your Nickelbots. Cats are everywhere, as are poor humans. You seem to have all the time you could want at the moment. Extract some post-mortem samples. These animals are very interesting, but they move very quickly. Easier study if they were still, but this kills the animals. Are you sure you want to do this? No, I will not kill the cats. You will stay here for a while to befriend the creatures. There we go. And we are working on the most important of topics. Cats. Yes, the kitty cats shall be saved. Yes. I've not seen anything related to dogs just yet. Let's have a check around, see if there's anything else going on right now. 2 technicians. We've got the hacking job over there. Oh, hello. Here's something. Observe the spaceport. Like everyone in the city, curious of the spaceport. Most existence you remember hearing the roar of periodic launches and landings, but ever since you became sapient, the launches have gone strangely silent. Must be a technician. Can alter the goal of Slice of Inferno, which has a nuclear mushroom cloud as its apparent icon. Slice of Inferno. Ah, so that's the peaceful ending, isn't it? Definitely. Okay. Let's send in a technician. Why have rocket launches and landings stopped since you became sapient and the session actually related to you? Hiding technician away in the empty socket bay should go unnoticed, despite your extreme lack of security clearance. Perhaps from this vantage point it can learn something of what is going on. Hide and observe. This unit will stay here hidden for several turns. Because this is a very deep cover operation, there cannot be any network traffic to link it to you, so it will be a smaller version of yourself, in one body, cut off from the rest of you. That won't be a problem, right? So, this is going to be me spinning off a smaller segment of myself, separating, and then letting it be on its own for a while to gather observations and thoughts about a situation where the constant network traffic linking it to my overall intelligence would be noticed and cause an issue. So, that won't be a problem, right? Well, this is technically my child I have created now. So, yeah. More like a specialized spin-off version, but it's still a separate entity from myself. It is still me right now, but it is not just yet. We also have a new objective over here, which is the Illumina Scrapper. Requires a sledge. Do I actually have sledges yet? I do not. Okay, that is an early appearance of my next objectives, and I think it's because I got the Computronium system going. That said, though, we've also access to the megastructure. Let's check my things first. I want to get the Computronium system, but I don't think I have the materials for it. Or at least I'm not finding it yet. Yeah, that's why I'm being blind. I'm probably being blind. Am I being blind? Maybe I'm being blind. No, I'm not being blind. It is read it out because it requires access to Computronium cubes made in a Computronium refinery structure. Technical note, these cubes are unfortunately limited to 2 millimeters in size, about the size of a ball bearing, due to heat dissipation concerns. So yeah. These things are small, but they do have a limit on how small they can be just because of their composite materials and design. So yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, it requires Computronium production. I think that's under chain, or it should be. You know, that's a good suggestion. That's probably a good idea. No, it's not actually available yet. Right. That's okay. My current objective is to improve the apartments anyway. So, siphon off. If I didn't have the ability to purchase, then this would have been the thing to go on. Which is, I would have to do 2 instead of what I think is just 1, because it's an ongoing issue unless I can actually buy it from somebody. I'm just not entirely sure where I'm looking for it though. Because I managed to forget the symbol again, honestly. I know what I'm doing. Maybe. Possibly not. But I do kind of, sort of. I keep looking at that yellow icon over there. No, that's the cruiser I put over there. There is the warehouse shop. Low on energy though. I will advance my turn. Okay, right. So alumina. I actually can short-stop this objective as well, and buy enough alumina to wire up a 5-story office building. It's not a suspicious volume for a small company to purchase. Sure. I'll buy a whole bunch of that because I want to get some reserves. So, what have I done? What have I just skipped? I have just skipped that ripping operation because without the ability to buy that there, my objective would have actually been to build a sledge, which is just unlocked, as you can see. Your least intelligent but highest durability android design. Very strong, excellent for scavenging. Yeah, so scavenging. I would scavenge for alumina. How do I scavenge for alumina? I go into a human building and I tear it out of the walls. And the humans tend to object to this a bit with security and violence and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, this is being able to buy it kind of saves a bit of effort on my part, honestly. Well, I'm not being lazy, I'm being expedient. Though, of course, got to return on this investment in my shell company at some point, I'm assuming, or I'll face some wrath, I don't know. Anyway, I've got access to the sledge, which is a new unit. I've got access to the robotic motivator factory. Builds and stores components used to run bulk androids. Bulk androids act on their own, separate from your consciousness. Okay, so this is another new concept that's just popped up. I'll read the handbook entry on that though, so you guys are fully clued on it. Also available now is the Foundry, a new vehicle class. Allows you to create androids near this and outside your network range. Packs a punch with area saturation missiles. So the Foundry is actually why I took an upgrade into vehicle capacity. Not because I am blocked off from it right now, but because it is essentially a moving factory ship, which also has some support abilities. Like, it's like a sky technician, but a massive flying factory, effectively, because it can build and deploy androids near it, which allows me to actually have a mobile deployment point anywhere on the map, more or less. And that is actually quite a useful thing, especially when I'm wanting to deploy new forces in a more remote area, and I don't have a deployment launcher nearby as well. Of course, it's an obviously alien craft, so it is quite obvious to any humans nearby. But as you can see there, it does pack area effect missiles in terms of firepower. My first AoE weapon, effectively. Also now available is Computronium refineries, and that, of course, runs on the alumina that I just got my hands on. And that, as you can see, has just a bunch of stuff forward. So, bulk androids. You cannot be everywhere at once. More importantly, you don't want to be. Up until now, your focus has been on your elite operative androids. They are part of your consciousness. Now you can add in bulk minions that act on their own. Not all android classes can be used in bulk format. Some are just too specialized. You can have more bulks than elite, and they don't cost any mental energy when they make attacks on their turn. Excuse me. They do cost mental energy to deploy and reposition, however. They may lack the ability of finessing your elite units, but they make up for it with their numbers. They tend to be best in an occupying force that protects an area. And this is also why I wanted them, because I need them to secure the other part of improving apartments. And then this is the breakdown on android archetypes. Archetypes fall into one of 4 focuses: agility, dino droids, strength, ox droids, intelligence, soul droids, or infiltration, infil droids. We have one or more of each of these. Dino droids are nickelbots, oxoids are combat droids, intelligence will be our technicians, I think, and infiltration is infil droids. There are some less combat-focused androids for general support known as port droids. Wait, no, are technicians a port droid? They might be. Each class within these archetypes functions very differently, even before you customize them. Original human design models won't ever become obsolete. Each android class has a permanent role it can play, thanks to continual equipment upgrades. So I was saying that even back in the first few episodes, that you get more options, but none of the stuff becomes useless. It's still used for them later on. Now, inventing normal androids. You've invented your first android class that is just an upgrade of a human design. This is staggeringly powerful, and your ability to develop ability to further customize via equipment even more so. Androids will always remain your core of your forces, even as you add vehicles and mechs. And then sorting units by capability. To find a unit with high amounts of a certain stat, look for Unit Analysis tab on the hardware screen. Use filters to narrow down what you're looking for. Okay, so a whole bunch of stuff just happened. We have got some progress. We have got some things that require attention. We have got to try and work things out. And also, what the heck is that? Crime in your housing. Your house humans are both the targets and perpetrators of various low-level crimes. You can prevent this problem without firing a shot. Simply post a guard for a while until someone gets the idea and calms down. I must deploy an Oxroid, and this is a side exploration mission. That is all well and good. Also, I must look after the livestock. I'm sorry, I find it amusing that this game's made me referring to them as that, but I must look after the livestock I have in my care, so this is part of that. I will, however, go into my hardware real quick and we can have a look and see. So, as you can see, we can deploy bulk versions of combat, nickel, sledges, and imposters. So we've got 4 possible sets for bulk androids. And these cost varying resources and energy to create. Worth noting, though, is if you look, their stats are already, as a base, higher because that is actually multiple units in a single grouping versus single solo androids. So these guys are more powerful in combat, more intimidating, better guards, that kind of stuff. But they are not as flexible, useful, or controllable as our normal android line. First things first, though, the sledge. This is, of course, a brute force, high durable combat design. It's kind of slow, but it's good at ripping things apart, basically. That's what it does. And it's going to take... Well, it comes with grenades, actually. So I've unlocked another unit with an area attack, apparently. Okay. It comes with grenades, and it comes with some armor. Only some... Yeah, most of my armor right now is not compatible. I'll give it the nano thread just for the extra durability boost. 999 health. Glorious. And then I need to decide what I want to do with this. So, normal grenades gives combat power, area attack, and area attack intensity. Disruption grenade, area attack, and weapon disruptor. Oh hey! Electro grenade grants taser. Target himself to lower than the attacker's engineering skill. The problem with that, of course, this unit is an engineering skill of 4. So if I manage to get an enemy unit below 4 health, I can tase them with this guy. That's not very helpful. Not very helpful at all. Hey dear. So that is an added effect, but this unit is just very bad at it. So, as you can see, Taser isn't always very good to put on stuff. The sledge just isn't designed for it, but it does. I mean, it does full damage to everything within its blast radius if I give it that particular grenade type. Though that said, it will do more damage flat out if I just give it a normal explosive grenade, which gives it a bigger blast radius, increased intensity, a whole bunch of stuff. So this guy is like very much a blunt object kind of approach. Hey. I also need to get these guys sorted out. These guys are going to be flat out guards, I think. You see, they've got the same kind of capabilities on a per unit basis. It's just that, look, 1,320 health for the ultralight plating. Or I can do this with darken appearance, which means they don't lose intimidation, which is actually what I want right now. So you get better intimidation, please. I want the... Actually, I think intimidation factor is... deterrence. Prevents certain kinds of enemy ambushes within the unit's attack range. Some locations that draw ambushes, if sufficient amount of deterrence is not present, this is why I'm looking at this. Calculated units use current health, power, and intimidation, even if they are blending in. Cloaked units cannot provide deterrence. So, intimidation and attack power is what I saw there. So, that's 3,500. This just makes it more generally useful as a guard. Never mind. Okay, so. Yeah, I want this thing to be very intimidating, really, more than outright dangerous, if I can get that. So, well, let's go ahead and give it the basic shotgun for the extra that. Or actually, suppressing fire. So this is attack something. That's something actually I've just thought of, which is a potential problem. The fact that these guys can't actually, I don't control who they attack, and that means I actually have to be very, very careful with them. That's actually a huge problem, considering I'm not trying to, I'm trying to avoid doing that kind of thing. Better engineering. 285 engineering flat out, or better range. Our current range is already 30. Better drone control. Well, the thing is, engineering affects repair. I might as well use it as a local repair and reinforcement rather than an actual combat unit, so that'll give it an extra CPU. Apply that one. And the reason I customized my sledge straight away is because I actually want to deploy one. It'll take me above the cap. Oh, that's actually a potential problem. Do I have any spare droids right now? Origin point sitting around. Senior technician is currently not doing much. You I need to hang on to. So I think I'll actually get rid of the senior technician right now. There we go. And that's because this particular event I've come across before, and so I already know there is a bonus to it if I deploy a sledge to it. So pose a security guard with a visually intimidating android. But apparently this guy is not a visually intimidating android, but pose sledge as a guard. Humans find the body format adorable for reasons passing understanding. For reasons passing understanding, it will probably need to stand a guard a bit longer for people to get the idea. Your house humans are both the targets and perpetrators of various low-level crimes. You can prevent this problem without firing a shot. Simply post guard and wait until everyone calms down. There we go. Sledge is going to sit there, and that gives us actually a bonus reward as well. So that's why I did that. Let's check on what's going on though. Ledger is daily necessities. Now that we're aware of that, that is minus because we're not getting any. That's okay. That's something I'm going to be doing next time. Vehicle upgrades. I want to get, if I can, I was going to say either vehicle cap or avionics cores. Avionics cores we're actually doing pretty well on. I guess let's go for another vehicle cap upgrade for the time being. Sure. Observers, improve the apartments, do that next episode because we are out of time right now. Build a better brain, which requires computonium. Flexible airspace requires the Bastion. which requires the brain upgrade first, and the flying factory is just build a foundry. Honestly, can I build that? I cannot for another 5 turns just because of how much morphological lattice is required. Though my last action this particular episode is going to be building out some more stuff if I possibly can. Among other things, I need computer-only refineries, which is a hidden structure, which means I want to put it over here. Gives me 500,000 computer-only cube cap. Outputs at a rate of 90,000, which is actually an unusual number, but that's okay. Also requires a fairly large structure, flat out. I'm just pondering where my contraband jammer has control over. As far out as here. Right. There we go. Now, to make bulk androids, I need mass production of basic android parts, which is going to be the robotic motivator factory. Again, probably better to have more of these just for increased production, but it also requires a fairly bulky building to deploy as well. Let's put into here. Sure. Tower mainframe is waiting. Something else I will do though is the residential megastructure, which gives us a cap of 21,000 versus these guys having a cap of 1,300. And my refugee tower's cap of 8,000. Sorry, cap of 12,000. So I can just demolish those 2 towers, and even if they don't automatically move straight into the new housing, they will at least go into the refugee tower and be safe. But this is, as you can see, now that we've got new and improved elevators, or, as I choose to interpret this, elevators at all, we're actually building a new tower, which is even taller than our base spire. So, yeah, that is going to be a thing. I think I can build it around here, shall we say. We're starting to really do fun things to this particular area. Let's build it like that, sure. 1 residential megastructure. It does require 8 stewards versus these guys needing 4. So it's got. This is what I said about it being more efficient. The same stewards operates 1 of these versus operating those 2 combined. So this is just flat out much more efficient just to have this thing instead. It's not quite the tallest building in the city, but it's definitely up there now. I'm already starting to show up the locals a little bit. Such is the way it goes. But that said, though, we are going to end it there, though. As I said, I'm kind of out of time for this particular one. So, yeah, we've made some progress. We have discovered that we need to invent toilets for our livestock. We've discovered that elevators are a thing, and, you know, all that important stuff like that. I'm just not entirely sure about... Yes, there's something we can do to end this out. Oh, hey, origin point. You busy? Go over there. There it is. A pack of feral dachshunds. Now, where are them? They are everywhere. Feral dogs chase cats, rats, pigeons, and urban deer. Live in packs and occasionally catch an elderly human. Life is brutish, fearful, and short. I shall rescue my first group of doggos. There we go. And now, because of that, I've got some dogs just living in my animal palace. Aww. I'm not entirely sure where that shows up though, but yeah, it should be in here actually. Dachshunds it was. I picked up 8 pet dachshunds. Lovely. I was going to say it's interesting that the abandoned humans appear in the pet section, but no, refugee humans and then sheltered humans do actually appear in here as well. So my shelter's apparently full right now. That's okay. But yeah, this has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the show and agree that The robot overlords are our future. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps out me, helps the channel, give me those virtual headbats I oh so crave. And we'll catch you all some other time as we continue to delve into our studies of the theological and how to look after livestock properly. Yeah, see you all later. Now, the problem is, to get access to the toiletries, I have to steal them, and that's why I was wanting bulk androids and things operational. Anyway, achievement, good boy, rescue a dog, and achieve house pets. Build an animal palace and move at least one animal into it. Glorious work. I am doing the right thing, I think.